So this next poem is for my husband, EJ. It's called Disclosure. Love, while you slept, I peeled open one eye. Forgive me. I slipped inside. The whole room cerulean. I promise, I didn't touch a thing. There was a window along the back wall and a landscape of the coast hanging to my left. I was torn between the mountains in the painting and the sea beyond the glass. What must have been your breath was rising, or was it my own? I wondered, if I cast open the window, would you startle awake? And should I inhabit your eye forever, would I grow to call this view home? And the last poem I'll read tonight is a poem for my daughter, who's asleep right now in her crib with a babysitter. This is called Elegy for the Old Thinking. These days, we take the atom for granted. Grade school children assemble styrofoam models, color code protons, neutrons, electrons. When the theoretical physicist explains that they found the same self-correcting codes in nature that run a browser, something inside me, maybe the same invisible pattern of zeros and ones pulsing in the leaf vein, jams the conveyor belt of my brain. I imagine the forsythia at my window running a program for when to bloom or drop its leaves. Gravity is the odd man out, which is to say that the apple will fall to the ground as long as the moon orbits the earth. I tell my baby that the stars in the sky are not just lights, but places to go. Einstein said imagination is more important than knowledge. The theoretical physicist says he was only trying to solve some problems that no one thought there were answers for. He says learning supersymmetry is a bit like having babies. You focus on the benefits, not the pain. I think about the loss of my childless life, and then all of the times I thought I was essential before. Maybe that's the real loss. Outside my window, the branches and roots cancel each other out, so all I see are electric yellow blossoms framed in green leaf. When you ask a physicist a question, he'll give you a number and the range of uncertainty. If you just get a number, that's bad science. If you ask me how old I am, I'll say 32. I'll say my daughter is 12 weeks, 2 days. But if I count back to her conception, she's a full year old, maybe 369 days, a range of uncertainty implied by my use of maybe. But somehow, even when I sleep, my ears are tuned to hear her call out. And since she is still so small, I know that when she cries, it's out of need. And when she's older, it will still be need. Though I will miss holding her length in the cradle of my arms, how my heartbeat is enough to soothe her to sleep. Make me the tree or the apple. Let her be gravity or light. Thank you. So now it is my pleasure to introduce Stephanie Calling, our guest feature this evening. Stephanie lives in Philadelphia, but she's a New Jersey native and attended Stockton College. And I was fortunate to meet her in her sophomore year in my Introduction to Creative Writing class. I think we often hear students talk about how teachers impacted them, but I'm here to tell you that the reverse is also true. As a shy transfer student in my course, she was incredibly generous and attentive reader. She was one of those students who could read the ghost texts of poems. And it made me sharper as an instructor. It made me want to be a better teacher and a better poet. Stephanie's poems have appeared in Line Break, The Collegius, Boxcar Review, and other print and online publications. Her poem, The Scientist and the Monster, was selected for the 2012 Best of the Net anthology, which is a big deal if you don't know that. In her poem, in which our hero becomes a masked vigilante, the speaker says, "I want to spit bullets, to shoot, to study the cadences of back talk, of whiplash, black boots that stomp and click, the chopped crack of a whip. If all the old thinking is about loss, all the new is about taking back what was already ours." Her poems often examine loss, the lives a grandmother never lived, the love the monster, presumably Frankenstein, is denied, or a modern Medusa's lonely existence. However, many of these poems are the types of elegies that seek and find redemption. As a reader, I'm attracted to Stephanie's imaginative conceits and her ability to move beyond them in a realistic way. But I return to her work because of the inescapable emotional resonance her poems offer. So all of you are in for a real treat this evening. Stephanie Call.